Yig. Yig, the Father of Serpents, is a deity in H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu mythos. He first appeared in the story The Curse of Yig. He is described as shapen like a man except ye look at him close. According to Lovecraft, one of Yig's main characteristics is his devotion to snakes, his children. He punishes those who harm them by turning them into spotted snakes. To Native Americans in Lovecraft's story, Yig is regarded as bad medicine. According to the story, Yig is also alluded to in Western American folklore. He is identified with the Mesoamerican deity Quetzalcoatl and may be a prototype for that god and other serpentine gods worldwide. Some authors identify him as the Stygian serpent god Set from Robert E. Howard's Conan stories, and also with the great serpent worshipped by the serpent men of Velusia from the same author's Kull stories. He acts as a god who sends his minions, or children, out to punish all who have murdered a snake in the past by either killing them or turning them into a snake-like creature such as himself. He is the father of Yig and the mate of the outer god Yidra. Even though Yig is easy to anger, Yig is also easy to please as long as no harm comes to his children, the snakes. Yig's Curse. Excerpt from a first-hand perspective of it in action. A faint stench came from the aperture as the doctor unclosed it, and I fancied his pounding elicited a kind of low, hissing response. Finally, he motioned me to replace him at the peephole, and I did so with a causeless and increasing tremor. The barred ground glass window, close to the earth outside, admitted only a feeble and uncertain pallor, and I had to look into the malodorous den for several seconds before I could see what was crawling and wriggling about on the straw-covered floor, emitting every now and then a weak and vacuous hiss. Then the shadowed outlines began to take shape, and I perceived that the squirming entity bore some remote resemblance to a human form laid flat on its belly. I clutched at the door handle for support as I tried to keep from fainting. The moving object was almost of human size and entirely devoid of clothing. It was absolutely hairless, and its tawny-looking back seemed subtly squamous in the dim, ghoulish light. Around the shoulders it was rather speckled and brownish, and the head was very curiously flat. As it looked up to hiss at me, I saw that the beady little black eyes were damnably anthropoid, but I could not bear to study them long. They fastened themselves on me with a horrible persistence, so that I closed the panel gaspingly and left the creature to wriggle about unseen in its matted straw and spectral twilight. I must have reeled for a bit, for I saw that the doctor was gently holding my arm as he guided me away. I was stuttering over and over again, "For God's sake, what is it?" The locals quickly learned that it was better to just get bitten by Yig's snakes rather than risk his wrath if they accidentally killed one of his children. He is easily appeased with food and drink, so here his children don't go hungry. There is no way to undo the curse or turn a victim back to human.